Hi everyone, I'm McDices, and this is Remothered, Tormented Fathers. Remothered is a game that came out in early 2018 and is a Clock Tower spiritual successor. I'll be showing you how to do pretty much just the 100% speedrun, and also, if you want to get the collector achievement, this also works. We'll be starting from a fresh game file. I use the middle one because the first one is a practice save I have, but anyway, here we go. If you have any questions about the run in chats, they'll be up there, and feel free to go ahead. Thanks, Avium. Anyway, with Remothered, I've also done this one like 3 times already because the run kept dying. The game has a few collectibles involved, such as this. This is a good example of the first one, the lost child, Celeste Felton. That also kind of gives you the story of the game, because a little girl named Celeste Felton has gone missing, and you as Rosemary Reed will be looking for her. We'll also have a little neat Easter egg back here with the movie Sears. I wonder what that could be about. I'll give you a hint. It's called Clock Tower, because this game is a Clock Tower spiritual successor. There will be a little bit of deja vu for people in chat, so it'll be a good meme to go on. I've done this a few times, and they kind of died in random spots, so I'm hoping this one is going to be the one that pans out. Anyway, most of this early game is going to be just kind of get to the house. Pretty straightforward. Nothing too crazy going on just yet. It's more of an introduction to everything. You learn about Richard Felton, you learn about Celeste Felton missing, you'll get a long cutscene at one point, and then as well, you learn about Gloria Ashman, the maid of the house. And the more you play the game, we'll learn more and more about these characters, and I'll also explain it as more characters get introduced in the game. In total, there will be a good chunk of characters. Not too many, but a good amount. I think games that do this, or they keep a small amount, tend to work better. Also, as a preface, whatever the hell you want to call it, yes, I don't know why she's wearing that skirt. Yes, I don't know why she's wearing heels. Yes, I don't know why she has the bag. Just assume that it's all tactical, and we'll roll with it. The things that always get mentioned when people talk about Remothered as the early game is, 1, the main character looks like Jodie Foster. 2, why is she dressed like that? 3, why does she run like that? There you go, Teddy. Anyway, this is going to be more of an intro to the characters, like I mentioned, so if you have any current pressing questions, feel free to go for them. This isn't Jodie? No, Nadim is not. But he said that? Yeah, Jodie Foster is the look. I'll see if I can show you really quick. There's the Jodie Foster look. This is just walking, and it's not even based on your speed. It's going to be based on Gloria's speed. I don't know why they made her look like Jodie Foster. I'm assuming the reason was actual intent and motivation behind that. Chris Darrell did like a lot of different movies and horror movies, so he did take inspiration from those. And it's kind of weird what games have taken what inspiration. The original Clock Tower games, in case you're wondering, I'll mention these as well, took inspiration from movies like Phenomena, Suspiria. This takes inspiration from Clock Tower, so it's going to have similar Italian horror. And I'm not going to be surprised if he did get inspired from Silence of the Lambs. That is actually a great point, I think, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Chris Darrell did. Correct. In the original game, Jennifer Simpson looks like Jennifer Connelly for that reason, because Phenomena. In Nightcry, Rooney also kind of has similar things, but believe it or not, if you're wondering what major movie inspired Nightcry, it's The Grudge, Ju-on. Funny enough. And that is actually a confirmed fact. Anyway, now that we're up here, we're going to be getting our third note, Contaminated Fields, which will be in this little thing. This is also mandatory, because if you don't get this, you can't progress to the game. This talks about the Rosso Gallo farm having a contamination and some diseases getting out. Now, if you don't know a thing or two about diseases, is that diseases are bad. At this point, Rosemary Reed is going to sneak back into the house, and normally you get a tutorial here, but we're not. Important note, grab this note. Always grab this note early. You cannot physically grab Happily Together later in the game. You must do it now. This gate right here is going to close if you do not do that otherwise. Felton is going to lock things up later on, just as a weird spoiler, I suppose. But you want to make sure that you grab that now, or else you'll be trapped and you'll never be able to get that note. Collector 100% achievement requires you to grab that note, so do it. Do it now. In case you didn't do it when I mentioned, go back and do it before the game begins. It is impossible to get 100% without that. And it's also kind of cheeky in the way that one works, is because missing in Sears is also the same way. If you don't grab those notes, you also can't get 100%, but you're kind of expected to at least take a look at missing, and then if you look around, you'll find the giant Sears poster. Anyway, there are some collectibles in this room, but we're not going to worry about that yet. We're going to watch a beautiful interaction between a man and his dead wife. It's like Silent Hill 2, but instead of, you know, the pillow, he didn't use a pillow or something. I guess he keeps her in the bed. Imagine if James Sunderland kept Mary in the bed the entire time. Well, that would be the equivalent, I would say.
Got jammed again, right?
Normally during this section I play guitar and just play Megalovania.
On telling me
I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll do it next run.
the new gadgets on the market. Promise. How can I say no to you? Now get some rest, love. My little Jennifer.
To answer some questions as well, he did call the wife Jennifer. This is important because Rosemary Reed confronts Dr. Richard Felton about the name Jennifer, and then Felton gets mad because of that. So it's going to open up some questions for later. And as well, the reason Felton came into this room is because the record player started jamming because we bumped into it. He notes that the record player does have issues, so he at least wanted to fix it, but at the same time, it does arouse suspicion. Meaning, the chase has now begun, and we are dealing with the first of a few stalkers, Richard Felton. Felton can have a few things going on here. There's also RNG. If you're wondering what I got, it is the worst RNG this game can have.
Where do you think you're going?
This will be okay, though, because I can just live around that. You do lose a bit of time if that happens, but the best RNG is also gotten this way. It's a real risk-reward thing. The reason why is because Felton can decide not to chase you at all. I mean, you can do the entire bottom floor without Felton's cues. A thing with this game is that you cannot pick up any story items or look at any collectibles while Felton is chasing you. So if you want to be doing that, you're going to have to get rid of him by hiding behind a door and not having that red outline. If the outline is red, you are dead. Keep that in mind. That simple rhyme will keep you safe. Now that we're in the kitchen, we're going to be grabbing a few things, so pay close attention. One, we're grabbing a plunger. It's mandatory for the bathtub upstairs. Next, I'm grabbing this glass with throwing, and also we're looking at the fridge for the Summer in Rome picture. After this, I'll be going up here so I can grab a handle. This handle will be used on the kitchen, actually, on the oven. At the beginning of the game in the robe, I also grabbed a key that let me go to this back area. I didn't feel to mention it was that important. I mean, you still grab it, but the thing is, that's mandatory. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. That's fine. I could have gunned it, but I've been doing this all day because I've been used to some weird RNG, but this is okay. Anyway, I'm only doing a little bit of a glitch here by applying the handle. I can now start running while applying this, and that does save a bit of time. Also, before anyone asks, yes, that is some old man ass, and that is a prominent feature of this game. I don't know how likely this game is to get into marathons because of that old man booty, but either way, we're fine. This is a note about Wyman's suicide in an article about it. We're going to get a chandelier falling because of this note, so it's actually a mandatory note, but it does count towards the collectible stack. And now I do damage using it again to get close to this door. Because of that, I can now bash through it and bash at both doors. Having the door be closed is good RNG, and also the setup I did for a few reasons. Keep that in mind, it's a specific setup in many areas. The reason why that's good is it buys me enough time, so right when I get in this room, I can use the film. I use the handle to grab the film. Without that glitch, you would have to go around the other room to get enough time for this. Time is very important because Felton's pretty quick on the way this all works. As well, the door being closed is going to allow me to grab the steel rope and look at that portrait back there. I have half of the Felton items needed now. One, the steel rope is going to help me for the next item. And I'm not going to get that. Oh, that's bad. Okay, I was too slow. We can get that later, so that's all good. We'll skip this one. But that can actually get risky if you're not careful. There are a few different moments I can grab the family portrait, though, but keep that in mind. Not every note you'll be able to grab that quickly. I was a bit too slow in my actions, and he found me a bit too quickly. And Outlast has been on a marathon before. I'd have to ask them if this game would ever be allowed, but it's hard to say. I'm also going to skip the split on the bottom, so don't you worry, but the family portrait will need to be gotten later. It is a mandatory thing if you want to get 100%. But there's a few moments in the game to be running back there. There we go. And now that we have the bathtub, I can use the plunger and do that. And this is going to release the fidget spinner key inside the bathtub and drop it down to this grate. Horror games and marathons is also sort of weird. ESA accepted Remothered, so they're pretty cool in horror games, but GDQ They're getting better with horror, but I don't know if they'd ever take Remothered, given the context of this game's old man moody everywhere. I also got the fun, RNG. Like I mentioned, Felton's a lot of RNG, and can be either really good or really bad. I don't see him, and if it stays this way, I do save a little bit of time. At this point, if you just want to do this game casually, maybe you're looking for the collector achievement, you can go do it now. Like, there's nothing stopping you. I always recommend doing it later, though, because there'll be a few points we end up back towards that area regardless. Right, but it's not as focused as Remothered. Like, Remothered's prominently old man booty in it. There we go. Don't worry, though. Felton will come back. This just happens sometimes. It's random. I don't know where Felton is or why he does this, but I never complain because that means I'm safer for the time being. And what we're going to be doing now is using the, I guess, the goods lift in order to open up that grate. With that as well, we're going to be knocking out the power, so we're going to be hitting a lights out section. The lights out section may be a bit tough to follow, but I'll have the light on at least for the beginning of it. However, we do want to run the light off, just because Felton can find you if the light is on. Lights out works heavily on the eyes and ears, so while you do make noise, Felton won't be able to dead find you until later. There's also a glitch you can do by opening up one of the cabinets here. However, that can potentially lead to some risky maneuvers, so I don't like doing it. And I'm not going to do it for this one. Anyway, with that, the power is now out. Boom. And we begin the next part. That guy Nicholas with the raid. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome, everyone. We're doing some Maryland commentary, so I won't be too quick on the introduction. I have bad RNG for Felton, but that is okay. This RNG is going to be okay. I can also run the light on a little bit. But thank you for the raid. Welcome, everyone. I'm McDice. I do love horror games and horror game speedruns. If you have not checked out Nicholas, do so. They were doing Sound 3 today, and are very nice people. I'm doing some marathon commentary, so I have to keep it rather brief, but if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Also, make sure you behave, because I do have chat on screen right now. So we have the bat out. Anyway, what we're going to be doing now is reactivating the power. Notice Felton is currently behind me. This is okay. What I'm going to have to do is do a big loop. I might be eating a hit here. We did not eat the hit. We're good to go. That is going to be ideal, so be careful. Thank you, Nicholas. 100% refers to all the collectibles in the game. In total, there are 19 you can collect, and there are 4 you start off with. So we'll be collecting every single collectible in the game, allowing you to get the collector achievement. Right now, I'll be grabbing the Great Key, which is right here. And you can also grab this thing. I like using this one to throw, because it's slightly better. I want Felton to get close enough to me, so I can do this. This won't be a reset point, by the way, so it'll be pretty nice. What's going to happen is I need to activate the clock so I can get a battery. How's it going, Ultimo Roshi? And welcome, everyone. If you have any questions, feel free to type them. How's it going, Crunchy? Ronin. Dead Rhea. Old Snake Twitch. Doc Ramen. Misty Roses. What's going to happen now is we're going to be opening up this clock and using the fidget spinner key we got to activate it. That's going to open up the bottom side, and with that, I can now enter 2 areas. It came out in 2018. The first one is going to be a panic vent. You can die to this, by the way. I remember in the promotional videos for this game, people died of that quite a lot. But we can now get the battery right here. As well, I'm going to be taking a weirder route, but this will be fine.
I knew it.
It's going to be slightly slower later, but it will save me time in the grand scheme of things. I probably could have played it safer in the next area, but we'll be okay. What I'm going to be doing is grabbing the family portrait later. I did not grab it now because there's one more place to grab it, and honestly, this is going to be more doable for a lot of people. And it's going to remove some late game RNG from this game as well. Anyway, now that I have what I need, the battery and the film, I can now go up to Felton's office. This is going to be a very important part of the game. The reason being is because you need to play the projector. However, before you play the projector, you're going to have to set it up and read a note. The projector has a note on it if you were not aware, and that's how you learn that the film is actually in the oven. You don't need the film to actually do everything correctly. However, now that we have it, I can now do this. I read the note, putting it in my collection, and now I can use the projector. The problem is, if you don't do it with the note first, that note disappears once you play the projector. It's a fun game, Kamikaze Lily. It's a very fun game. Right now, a movie plays of Felton's hypnosis section, and the Red Nun portrait has been revealed with the sacrificial lamb. He has taken a dog catcher thing and mounted it to a wall, and now he must escape. Enjoy the moment really quick while we kind of listen to one of the coolest songs in this game. It's called Tormented Fathers. I know the name of that song because it's so cool. Anyway, we're gonna have to run away from Felton, and quick. We're in the room with him, and he is on us. So let's make sure we get out of here. However, there's always a bigger fish. The Red Nun has now spawned, and the Red Nun will be our new enemy throughout the game. I want to do a glitch here to get rid of the Red Nun, though. I can use Felton's body to my own advantage by getting him stuck on that wall and the Red Nun behind him, as you can see. That shove works, and they get stuck on each other, meaning I can now escape the Red Nun much easier. Ideally, you can also hide in that dresser, or you can hide in the dresser in the bedroom if you need to get rid of the Red Nun and you think glitches are cheating. Those comments have always kind of come up, so I'll allow the option for you, but this will always be faster and better anyway. Also, it's not super easy to do, so it's not going to make it easier. If you're wondering, hiding is going to be much easier. And yes, Ultima Roshi. It's a reference to the 90s with the hot chick in the apron that people used to do in the past. However, they put it in an old man, and that's true horror right there. Anyway, this girl is now here, and she has gone up to the loft. You can actually run during this like weird little load cutscene thing, so it's smarter to do that. And don't blink, but we're going to be looking at 4 notes in a very quick span of time. The first 2 notes, you may have, I mentioned earlier that there are a few collectibles in this room. First off, this is a sign you should be going here because the record is acting up, and the body is no longer there. They took his wife. How did you steal a man's wife? How do you steal a man's wife? How is that even possible? We look at the family portrait, and then, our family picture, and then we look at the picture of the Red Nuns. You saw there's all of them crossed out except for one Red Nun. This is a forced walking section, and you're now going to be doing another little thing with grabbing the umbrella. You can actually run right when the cutscene starts, allowing you to get a little bit more faster movements. Like so. Oh my god, what happened to her eyes? Oh my god, what was that? That was gross. What the, oh my god. Well, that was new. Anyway, we got the umbrella, and now we can go to the loft. However, the Red Nun is a little bit different than Felton. The Red Nun is going to be chasing me based on my scent, not my sound. They can use sound, but the scent will ultimately be more important. What does that mean? It means that instead of running straight to the loft to use it, I want to run all the way around so the Red Nun follows me. That being said, I also need to look at the Red Nun portrait and the Virgin portrait, also known as the Chad portrait and the coronation of the Virgin portrait. Now that we have that, we can go here and use the old umbrella handle on the loft. So that way we're able to get 2 of the notes there. And right now we are on note 12, but not actually, because I still need to get the family portrait in the main room. You can actually do that at the end of the game too if you just want the achievement, but the thing is, for the 100% run, you need to get it earlier so it can show up on a save file. There we go. Now we're in the loft. So the loft is going to be a very story-rich area, and this is going to teach you a little bit more about who people are. What's the record? It is a 3622 currently. I have it. I got it today. This note is going to be called Unpacking Bags, and is going to reference New Deal, New Life. Also, do those mirrors and have textures? I guess they're broken. On the left side, you get a jump scare with Jennifer. That is Jennifer, and you want to go on the left because then you can go to the right and get out of here faster. Matte mirrors? Okay, good to know. I'm not too sure about that. We're going to get a cutscene right now referencing we need to go behind the fireplace. And I'm going to be playing this safe because I have not looked at the family portrait yet, like I mentioned. So, I want to unlock this first for later. Hold on, did I do it? Oh god, I did. We're good. We're all good. This is going to be a bit risky anyway, but this is alright, because I have to do a few things here. Slightly different route, but that's okay. Oh, no, not that. So now I can take a look at this family portrait, which also takes me to the other side, which is kind of neat. And now we're going to be running all the way around. The reason why is because this is a safer area for all that. You had a 34, 100% now? Nice, Juo. Nice. Are you hiding more strats again? There we go. And now we can go back down here, and we can get the oil using the battery I got. There we go. I'll be losing a little bit of time, and that's just because I had to go the other way around for the family portrait. How's our health determined? It's usually based on hits. We ended up falling from the top of the attic to the bottom, so I do lose a bit of health there. But now we're good to go, and we're back on track. And yes, Nadim, this isn't really an optimized category. But I want to get some commentary on it. Ah, gotcha, Duo. Anyway, now that we got the oil, we're now going to be going to the hidden room that was referenced by Jennifer. It's behind the fireplace. Last time I actually had a weird, like, bug out happen here, so I hope it doesn't happen again. But what I want to be doing is, I want the red nun to spawn early so I can shove her out of the way. Oh, well, that's fine too. This isn't the best, but it's certainly not the worst because we do get a stun animation. 3 hits, in most cases. If they get too close, you get a stab. You can only die by an animation like that, which will usually be in a few hits. I'll be good though because I had an item, so not to safety items also nice to have, which is going to be okay. Also, now you can just look here instead. Having the attack items would be nice. The QTEs can only happen, by the way, if you decided to grab a panic item earlier, or a defensive item. I grabbed one because it doesn't take any time to grab one, and they're really easy to find throughout the run. You do lose time by having to use one, mind you, but grabbing one's not that bad. As well, now we can enter the suspicious fireplace and the hidden room. This room is going to lead us to a few things. Also, it has another blink and you might miss it thing. So, in the drawer next to the statue coming up on the left, this one right here, there is going to be a hidden notes, which is going to be a baby picture of Celeste/Jennifer. That is the name of that one. And now we can go back to the regular game. We have a little cart here. And the reason why we need the oil is because the cart won't move unless it has the wheels oiled. You can't use the oil earlier, by the way. Rosemary has to learn how things work in this game. And now it can move. What we're going to do right now is there's a hidden wall behind this thing, and I'm going to be using the statue to knock it down. And we're going to be hitting a mini boss fight. Don't worry about the time loss, it's just because I ended up having to eat the stab. The stabs lose you about 6 seconds, apparently. Here we go. And now we can begin the boss fight. So this room is going to have a mini boss fight, quote-unquote. You enter the bathroom to start the event, and then you can now do this. Now, if you just go to the radio early, what's going to happen is you will actually end up beginning the boss fight of the game, which is actually much more difficult. However, if you break all the mirrors before answering the radio, you can just straight up answer the radio, and you exit the room immediately. There is one more mirror, but I opened that early because when I grab these bricks, I'll be able to do this. Oh, I missed it. That's fine. If I had a better angle, that would have been fine. Minor time loss. You can get the angle, so right when you break the mirror, you can also answer this. But that finishes the boss fight almost immediately. There's also no collectible in this room. The collectible is supposed to be outside the room. However, we're going to have another one of those blink and you might miss it ones. And they're also going to have the worst part of this game by far. You can let that play out if you really want to, but it's not required. I'm going to stock up on bricks, and now I'll be entering this room. There we go. This leads you to the sewers. The reason why it leads to the sewers is because of the... there's a raft you walk on, however, it broke. Right now, however, what's going to happen is there's actually a collectible in the back that says 1973. There's a photo from that year, and you want to make sure you grab it. It's very important you do so. It's not the easiest thing to notice, so make sure it is grabbed. And now you can also have the sewers. And the sewers does have a bit of RNG involved. What, Joe? I don't understand what you're upset about. So the sewers, on the first 3 little walkways here, there's going to be a bit of RNG. The RNG is going to be represented in stabs. So, the stabs are going to be time loss if you get them. In the end, there's 4 force stabs. In the beginning, though, they're going to be anywhere from, I think, 0 to, like, a lot. And I'm getting a lot. Right now I have 2. This is entirely random on the amount of stabs you can get, so you want to make sure the less you get, the better. So you want to make sure you take tight turns. And also, you want to make sure you push the corresponding button. You can't mash the buttons. If you push a wrong button, it's a death, and you take too long, it's also a death. This is probably going to be a 5, which it's been consistently 5 on my run so far, so... Yeah, 5. My favorite part there, by the way, is that she says 2.5 and then stabs, and then 2 3/4 after the stab. I like the Red Nun. She's pretty cheeky. And now we're going to be getting 4 more stabs. These are telegraphed and will always happen. The direction will change based on which one you get. However, there's no difference on anything here. The animation takes all the same amounts of time. You don't get displaced whenever you do this, so getting right or left isn't going to matter. You always end up back in your root position. So, they're just stabs. I took the left side earlier, but now I was curious. I was curious and it worked. Anyway, all the stabs are done, and now we can leave the sewers. I'll be getting a small amount of time save, and we'll see how much it actually is, because I went on the left side originally for the sewers, but apparently it's on the right, which is nice. So, the next area is going to be pretty interesting, and it's one of my favorite areas as well, because we're going to have a boss fight skip here. And anyone can do this. I don't even say this any time. Either that or my stab's really bad. We're going to be getting Best Roses, the note, and it's going to teach you about a little girl named Jennifer. Throw this brick down this hallway, and that is going to distract the boss down here, who is Jennifer. With Jennifer, you can anyone can do this, by the way. Just throw that brick down there. She is noise-based, so based on that noise, she's going to look for it. You have to pull through. I have to spin 3 valves while you're down here. Because of that, she's never going to find me when I spin these valves. As well, we want to look at the Rosso Gallo portrait. And the little thing, that'll be a collectible. It's on the way. There's also one in the back, and there's a few down here in the wine cellar, so just keep that in mind. And now, there's also one right here, as I mentioned. Yes, that was a Joe strat. Here's the second one. And then we have one more. And then the last one's right at the end of all this, so we'll be all good. As well, I want to trade all the bricks I got for wine bottles. Wine bottles are going to be infinitely better as items. Now that all the valves are done, the steam blocking me is now gone, and we can go to a like the second half of this boss fight. So the way this is going to work is actually going to be a funnier route, or a better route. Normally, you want to block the entrance and then do the puzzle. However, if you immediately rush to the exit, you can remove the exit door. You can get that all prepped. The thing is, you must quickly do this. Turn around and immediately go to the dresser and shove it. By doing that, you save time because she's based on time. With that amount of time, she knocks down the key right when I finish shoving it, meaning I can immediately grab this key. Normally, you would have to wait for her to start slamming the door to grab the key. However, that's way quicker, and it's pretty nice. There you go. And now we're out, and we are good to go. And that saves some time, too, so it's pretty nice. For this point, it's going to get a bit strained because we're going to be hitting an elevator escape. And I'm going to be using the wine bottle to my advantage. This is also teaching you a good use of defensive items. If you go to the left, you'll find the Red Nun. The elevator is automatically coming down right now, and I need to be careful on that. I'm going to be grabbing this item, and I am going to be getting ready to throw this bottle right about here. So distracting the Red Nuns would be nice. And now I can, right when the elevator gets down, open it up. And now you're inside the elevator. That's the easiest method of doing so. You just throw a wine bottle. I mean, throwing wine bottles at people is pretty effective. You can also see how beat up Rosemary's gotten through all of this. She's pretty beat. But now, we will be going down to the bottom. As well, you may have noticed earlier in the run, but I did open a door during Battery 2. That was the section when we met Jennifer and I removed the rope from the door. That is going to be nice for me. There we go. That is going to be nice to me because I'm now going to be able to go on the left instead of going to the right. You You want to go to the infirmary as fast as possible. The infirmary also has the final notes of the game, 18 and 19. Keep in mind, we've been gathering all these notes as we go. In total, there are 19 notes to collect. Alright, so now we'll run over here. Jennifer will be chasing you, by the way, while you're down here. And you need to meet Gloria, the maid, in the infirmary, because she called you, and then you were panicked, saying the doors are locked. So now we meet her here. However...
So what happened?
Surprise, she's evil. So throw a wine bottle at her, and she goes down. You know, most people go down and stay down with the wine bottle thrown at them. That's actually a really hard throw, so don't feel too bad if you end up missing it. It's okay. But now that we got that, we're good to go, and we can now learn about Gloria Ashman, who, big surprise, was the Red Nun this entire time. We learn that Gloria is mad at you specifically because you have a lot more going on with this than is actually known. And more specifically, you burned down the Red Nun convent. So you ended up leading to the destruction of the Red Nuns, so she wants her revenge on you, and she wants her revenge on Dr. Felton for ruining her family in the first place, because she is part of the Ashmans, and the main character, Wyman, was Wyman Ashman, so I guess these are a family revenge sort of deal. She wants to get revenge on Felton by doing a lot of things, like murdering the wife and attempting to murder the child, who is still missing, mind you. The child did not die, but they were murdered. And in case you're wondering as well, Jennifer is actually Felton, the old man ass. Felton is trans. Female to male, because the dad... There's a lot of subtle hints throughout the game, and I highly recommend playing it. For this puzzle, just look at all three of these, and then you learn that, hey, the chandelier's still behind me. And it'll give you a panic event. Right now, Gloria ripped out Felton's tongue, and you have to escape before you get burned down like you burned down Gloria. So, it's a panic event. Just push left click. Oop. You ever seen the movie Man on Fire? Well, he's dead. And now we can leave this place. Skip the cutscene, and now we'll be making our way towards the elevator. Keep in mind, I currently do not have any weapons, so I want to grab a weapon off here for safety. Oh, thank you. For safety purposes. Just in case we do still have one more enemy left in the game, if you're unaware. As well, we learned that Gloria, while she does have some powers... Also, if you're wondering why people can take stabs and stuff and all this damage, the disease that everyone has, Felton and Gloria, it gives them enhanced strength, it gives them enhanced regeneration, it gives them quite a lot of powers, so they can take bottles to the face and stabs pretty easily. Also controlling moths or something. Yeah, we have the cortisone that's going to blind them, so...
Not this time.
Yo, bop. Now, the stab in the eye isn't the problem. It is a drug called cortisone that they are, I guess, weak to. And it makes their eyes very sensitive to light. And it's pretty crazy. But you just pop. That's a pretty fun one to do. Anyway, a thing to do is prepare the elevator crank. We have no more notes left in the game. We have everything. You would have gotten the collector achievement by this point, by the way, once you have done the infirmary. And now, all you must do is escape. Now, the attic is going to have some fun routing, and I'll give you recommendations on what to do, as well as what I'm going to do as the speedrun strategy. So I didn't get the speedrun strategy last time, but I'll try it again. But the plan here is going to be... Also, I mentioned earlier I did some setup to get the one glitch with the chandelier. This is a part of that. So by changing the graphical setting, the door closes, and it makes the attic look weird. So before you ask, yes, that is why the attic's all bright. I don't know why it does that, but it does. Also, another boop. Or I should say... Bop. So, there are going to be 3 Gloria areas, and she is partially blind. However, she's going to be aware of you on sound, and will stop throughout the game. Keep in mind, sounds be a highly motivating factor here. First things first, you want to throw a bottle at her normally. However, if you do this and run all the way down to the end, you can actually get it early. However, I didn't get it, so I'm going to toss a bottle. And the bottle will give you enough time to actually do everything. And then you pass through phase 1. That's actually how you're supposed to do it, believe it or not, but you can actually get the camera to turn just right, which will allow you to get the other one. The directions here are going to be bad, so you want to go left, right, and then straight for the first one. The wrong direction, if you decide to go that way, will lead you to enemies, so moths or Gloria. And knowing your directions will be very important. The last one is straight. Also, I'll see if I can get fast crawl. I don't actually know what causes it, but apparently Joe's always salty that I get it. Let's see if I get it yet again. Fast crawl? No, that's slow crawl, I think. Medium crawl? Ah, yes. Anyway, the way to deal with Gloria is throw the wine bottle behind her and then immediately bolt for this little cart. She'll be distracted by the sound given that she is blind. Pretty much, Nicholas. That is entirely correct. The moderate crawl. And now we're through here. There's going to be 2 more sections involving Gloria, but this is the last one we actually have to worry about. So with this one, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to chuck another wine bottle at her.
You're pathetic. You can't just kill me with cortisone.
And she mentions the cortisone as well. Throw a wine ball at her. She'll eat it. And now you can turn on the light. By doing that, she's very sensitive to light, as I mentioned, so she is going to be running away from that ladder, and now you can pass it. The moths are now gone. With that, you're now ready for the end of the game. The answer is going to be right, left, right. So if you go straight forward, moths will spawn. You don't want to go straight, go right. And then on the next area, you don't want to go right, you're going to go left when you have the pork. The reason why is because if you go right, Gloria spawns. And you don't want to deal with her. She's pretty dangerous. From here forward, you want to go right, not forward. Because now you're back to where you started from. And this is the beginning of the area. And you might recognize this. The run ends once you hit the power, opening up the attic doors. And I'll let the final cutscene play out. But this has been remothered 100%. This also technically is a new world record. However, in the same vein, I'll probably beat it again soon, so I'm not going to count it. Anyway, and time. That is a low 36. Enjoy the cutscene, everyone. And I hope you enjoyed Remothered, 100% marathon commentary. Or also collector tutorial if you watch it for that. Really, either one of them work, but enjoy the scene. You've earned it. It only took you 36 minutes to find out everything that happened in this mansion. Pretty damn quick. 2 world records in 1 day in an unoptimized category. Right? But that's because you didn't improve world record though, Duo. So that's a problem.
Need to see.
Oh no.
Know where you are hiding.
Although really quick, enjoy. My favorite cutscene in the game.
You breathe. I could stretch my
Careful of that, Sarah. You're on screen.
feel it. You're close.
Thank you. And there you go. That is the end of that. Anyway, I'm gonna leave the VOD running until the end of this cutscene. It is 10 minutes long or so. It is a long time. Yeah, Big Pharma badge laid to it, but some people want to watch the ending. Speaking of which, watch the ending. That being said, Maryland commentary, so don't spam while I'm gone. Normally it's fine. Don't spam while I'm gone. Actually, do spam if you want. That's okay. Just don't make it anything annoying. If it's emote spam, then sure, but don't make it anything lewd. Enjoy the ending. I need to go pee really quick. You're all good.
Great.
I'll be right back.
This isn't how I wanted to die. I didn't want it to be like this.
I should never have come here. It's all my fault.
It would have happened anyway. They didn't give a damn about the disease. They only used it to improve the phenoxyl. The moths were the final piece for the cure, and to show the world how much they were worth. They had noticed how moths were acting on Felton after he caught the disease in Egypt in 58. Oh, he deserved it. We were all test animals at the plantation. They used us. They made us believe we had been touched by the hand of God, giving us the disease as a sign. But then trouble came. The eyes burning, the bandage, the horrible pain in the head.
All of this? Just forget. Phenoxyl was created as an antipsychotic drug for war veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. To forget the horrors. As a father who ruined his daughter's life, forcing her to live as a man. Felton is just like all of us. He was a victim. He could only count on the results of the experiments of the plantation when they withdrew the drug from the market because of its crazy side effects.
Wyman, that fucking bastard, synthesizing parasites and mixing them with the drug, only showed him he could do better. It was possible to modify and control memories, our memories. But we were only able to control
That's fine.
the moths and be sick.
You're all good, Sarah.
Very sick. And those damn memories
I make it water.
will come up again sooner or later.
Now I understand. Felton always told the truth. He just wanted to protect Celeste. From all of this. From himself. From his Jennifer. The sessions were for her to just forget. Forget everything forever. And he was the one to push her to leave.
And eventually, she did. She ran away.
But I still have unanswered questions.
It's not too late. This is not your end yet.
It may be the end of everything. And maybe we're already dead. And neither of us knows it.
I'm not the one who is crazy here.
Maybe we both are.
You could have been one of us.
No, I couldn't have.
Yes, you could have, sister. But I could never forget that day. Oh, the screams, the flames. How could you?
You wanted to propagate it as a sign of God. This was not a gift. This was not from God. It was fucking stupid science. And those two things have never been compatible.
We believed it. It's true, and we were wrong. But you left us there to die.
I don't know. I don't remember. I can't remember. It's all confusing and I
Anyway,
don't...
It's over now. No, I don't want to die rotting in hatred. I've hated all my life. I don't care anymore. It doesn't matter who you were, what we were. You are what you have become. Look at yourself.
I'm nothing like this. This is all just farce.
It's me.
Discount store garbage.
You know, now I remember when I was young and I would lie on the grass. Oh, I loved doing this. I would stay for hours staring at the emptiness and seeing myself somewhere else where
explain afterward, Barbie. I'll explain afterward.
Why do we have to remember?
Because that is how we save our memories from oblivion.
She is still alive. You will find her. I know you will find her on top of the world.
What?
If God is real, I hope he is made of this love. I hope you will both forgive me one day.
I already have.
Bad habit.
Smoking.
Forgiveness.
Okay. So, the story Remothered at the end here is really ham-fisted, but it's also really nice in the second half of it. So, Gloria is now dying, or dead. She was dying that entire time. The reason why she lives very long is, as I mentioned, the disease they have gives them increased regeneration. The only weakness they have is the cortisone, which eventually kills them, which is that what kills her. She bleeds out, and now she is officially dead. The thing is, though, Big Pharma bad because you find out that the company that made phenoxyl, they ended up poisoning essentially the Feltons and then the Red Nun convents, giving them these special powers like the ability to control moths and stuff. Rosemary Reed was actually a part of that, however, she ended up running away and burning down the convent because she didn't like what was happening. Going more into that, the first half is pretty much saying Big Pharma bad, well the second half is just saying how, hey, you were sisters once, I forgive you. Which is actually kind of sweet. But the Big Pharma bad stuff is obviously sequel bait, and, yeah. But that was Remothered, and we'll enjoy the music. The run's not over yet, though. I still have to do one more thing, which is why people in chat are saying, we're bullying Juo.
What was in the bag? What did she find?
That is where the next game will be taking place. And we'll be learning more about this in the game Broken Porcelain coming out in August.
Do you mean to say that, despite everything, she was not resigned to the idea of finding her?
No. Not at all.
I thought the sequel video was good enough with the second part. Anyway, though, the credits. However, the run's not done yet, believe it or not, because I bet you're wondering, did I actually get all the notes? Well, let's see. Did I get the notes? No. So this save takes me back before the whole thing happened, but there's actually a objectives and collectibles page. You still have to try 2 here, which pretty easy to do, just in case you're wondering what you got to do. It keeps you all on track. But anyway, like I mentioned, here are all the collectibles. My Sweet Jennifer, which is the first one you start with. You can also flip it. It's a picture of Jennifer Risha Felton. Psycho-Hypnotic with the raid. Good timing. One brief moment. We have Dr. Rosemary Reed's badge, the medical report, and then the medical test notice. These are the first 4. From then on, I'll count them down. We should have 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, with the whopping 23. So there you go. And that is Remothered 100% Marathon Commentary. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I hope you enjoyed it, or if that kind of helps you get the collector achievement, also helps. That being said, if you have any other Marathon commentaries to me in mind, feel free to let me know either here on Twitch or in YouTube comments or Twitter or Discord or something. I'm always happy to take a look at more games of this style of commentary. Thank you.